What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of Making an Impact. I'm the foe, Cody Defoe, with my wonderful partner, the natural Astrid Pizarro. Here dropping in just to give ourselves a little bit of a preview and a prediction show of Hard to Kill this Friday. Astrid, how are you feeling about the show? How are you feeling this week?
Well, I'm still sick, so I'm recovering from that end of it. But I'm still excited for the show, though, which I'm looking forward to. I feel like the conversation has turned into something different, the community. But I'm excited for more of this event going on and the Fallout event to it. So I'm really excited for what's going to happen in this card, to be honest. How about you?
I'm happy to be back on screen with you here. It's been a difficult couple weeks here, and just busy with the holiday season, and then some family fallout last week that kept me off air with you. But glad you managed to kind of keep the show afloat in my absence, and happy to be back. Happy to be talking some Impact again.
Yeah, very cool.
We're going to keep it short and sweet this week for you guys in the comments there. This is a recorded show, so if you're wondering why we're not responding or popping up any comments, it isn't going to be us live with you. We're doing this a little bit ahead of time and giving it to you as something to kind of prep you for the show this weekend. So let's jump into it, Astrid. We've got a couple matches happening on before the Impact show before Hard to Kill. First one I have on my list here is the Six Ladies tag match between Rosemary, Taya Valkyrie, and Jessica versus Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steeles, and Savannah Evans. how are you feeling about this match?
I'm trying to find words for it. Let me see if I can find any. I just I'm in between about it right now. Let me see if I can put it here real quick. I'm in between about it, just like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. I feel like we have really don't have much going on for the women's division when it comes to the tag teams. So it just like it's also like one of those like random pairings. So that's the part I'm not excited for because I feel like we already know that Dolls are gonna win it and Giselle's not. Um, and it's probably gonna lead to probably Tasha and Giselle having a match most likely sooner or later. Um, I know they will kill it like wrestling wise. It's just the storyline of it that I'm not really excited for. I hope that makes sense.
See, I guess we're on different sides of the fence on this one. I know it's kind of a filler, and obviously, I'd like to see a situation where the Death Dolls are actually able to defend the titles, but we've worn that out with a couple matches with Tasha and Savannah now. Introducing Giselle to this story as a new wrinkle, at least. I am leaning on the way that I think Giselle is kind of the piece here that is actually going to help Tasha and Savannah get over this hump of losing to them. I'm not sure how it plays out going forward, but I think my pick for this match is that in some way, shape, or form, Giselle Shaw pins most likely Rosemary.
That's an interesting one. I was gonna say with the death clauses, I just like I said, it just to me it doesn't make a lot of sense to like have like the random pairing over here just win it. But you never know they'll give us some type of surprise. I'm just hoping they bring something new to the table and hopefully, like I said, sign new people because I'm if it goes, I think it'll be interesting at the same time if you have the other team win, just because we have maybe more possibilities happening versus the death toss. I feel like who else do they have left at this point? But I want the death toss for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it play out. A lot of talented ladies in that match there, even though the story has more so revolved around Savannah and Tasha trying and trying and trying to get the titles. Uh, Interested to see where this plays out afterwards, even more so than I am to see the match itself, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Jumping forward to the next match on the pre-card, we have the six-man scramble match, I guess is the best way to put this.
Yeah.
Between most of the X Division talents here, we've got Angels of the Design versus Bhupinder Gujar versus Kushida versus Speedball Mike Bailey versus Yuya Uemura versus Action Mike Jackson. Um,
Everybody.
uh, you know what? Four of those names are regulars on the programming right now. Kushida, I can understand because he's kind of been in and out for a little while with the time splitters with Alex Shelley. I have no idea what Mike Jackson is doing this match. Everyone's kind of speculating that he's just there to take the pin for one of these guys.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's somebody else in this match that could take that pinfall, but I'm not sure. Um, Honestly, just based on everything we're seeing coming out of this, I have a feeling that we're probably going to see Speedball get distracted and pulled away from this match by Kenny King and not factor in the
Mhm.
end. I don't know that I could see Kushida winning since he hasn't been around. I personally am leaning towards Angels picking up a win and just really building on the strength of the design right now. I think with the makeover
Mhm.
of the design, they need to start picking up some victories, and I think this is just another opportunity for Angels to kind of set himself apart and make himself matter as far as the design goes.
I like when I look at the graphics, like one of them does not look like the rest of them, and Mike is just standing out in this graphic when you see it from far away. But I'm just like I've been torn between Bhupinder and Yuya, but I feel like Yuya has more to gain from it if he does win. So that's why I was leaning more towards him. And being that it's a multi-man, that I think Alan will be like my second choice if we had one. But based on the storyline and what's going on right now, because like you said, I'm thinking Kenny has to be involved in here because the Speedball's here, and it will kind of like lead up more towards their match, the fight pit match. I was gonna say fit pipe, jeez. And like you said, Kushida doesn't really factor much into it, and Mike Jackson is just there. I've never seen him before in my life, so it's my first time. But yeah, I'm leaning towards like Yuya, and then maybe Angels will be my second one for sure. I feel like those other two, like if you could gain the most out of the momentum from the victory itself.
Yeah, I was between Gujar and Angels on this one. I think if I was picking a second, it would probably be Gujar. I picked him in the last multi-man pre-show match that we had, though, on Bound for Glory, or on Overdrive rather, and it didn't work out for me. So this time around, I'm a move away from Gujar and maybe hope he gets the win, but I'm expecting that the design will factor in and Angels will get the win here.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
So that's our pre-show, the 6 ladies match and a 6 men match. We get into what's going to be on the main card. Going to break this down kind of in order, going from the non-title matches through the number one contenders match into the actual title matches. Let's start with Rich Swann versus Steve Macklin. This match was made couple weeks back as a Falls Count Anywhere match after Macklin beat down Rich Swann and wouldn't stop and just ended up getting them both counted out as a double count out. Falls Count Anywhere obviously negates that part of it. We're going to see a lot of violence. Macklin has been showing a lot more violence out of this recently. Where are you leaning on this? Do you think Macklin keeps kind of going with this, just taking losses for the sake of beating the guy down, or does he actually start picking up a win again?
I don't know. I'm debating how he wins, or like how it ends up being in the end, but I definitely see him winning the match itself. It just at this point, what else does he have to do to get the attention from management? Is what I'm like the route that I'm thinking of, like, and whatever his answer is for that, then that's what's gonna happen in this match. But I'm just expecting like anything like an brawl out kind of thing, and I don't know if there's some type of way that he'll get the attention from Scott D'Amore to get that title match. So I'm hoping that this is the moment or the part that he gets to do that. But I'm looking forward to him winning more than anything.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page with this one. We've both made it pretty well known that
Mhm.
we're Macklin supporters at this point. I think Steve Macklin does. I think Swan puts up a valiant effort. Swan's a former world champion in his own right. He's been to the top of the mountain. He knows what it takes. He can hold his own in this kind of war. But I think ultimately Macklin just goes that extra distance and does whatever it takes to put Rich Swan down for the count.
Hmm.
Next up, say his name, and he appears. The digital media champion, Joe Hendry, defends his digital media championship against Moose. Dancing Moose.
It's Moose Loose.
Yeah.
I don't think you, I don't know if you see the whole part yet, but I'll leave it to that. Uh, this one, it's a given for me. It has to be John Henry. I don't really see Moose winning it. Joe just won it, so I feel like he's in that kind of like momentum that you don't want to stop right now. So I don't see him losing the match. It kind of feels weird to see Moose lose this match though. So it feels, I don't know how that's gonna play out, but I can't see Joe losing it though.
I'm very, very interested to see how this match plays out. I think you've only just put the title on Joe Hendry. This is his first real big feud since joining the company. Obviously, he's made a name for himself over in the UK. He's got a big following back home, but in the American scene, he's still just really starting to get people to take notice of him. Moose is a former champion in his own right and somebody that's just at the beginning of 2022 was at the top of the mountain in the company. So I don't know how you have Joe win here without making Moose look bad.
Mhm.
I trust that they'll find a way. I'm very curious to see what that way is. If it's something where Moose just loses his temper and takes the DQ, if somehow there's somebody that gets interferes or distracts somebody, or roll up, or maybe the first hints of Joe Hendry showing potentially a heel side to him. Not sure where this goes, but I definitely think Joe Hendry's winning this match.
Okay.
We've got to go a year back to pick up on this next match. We got to go all the way back to this time last year, Hard to Kill 2022, when Honor No More debuted. At that time, we were seeing Jonathan Gresham periodically showing up in Impact, defending his ROH Pure Championship title. And we had Eddie Edwards attacking Gresham, keeping him out of the multi-man match against Honor No More. This match is a long time coming. It took Gresham kind of leaving and coming back and finally signing a deal with Impact to be here for a longer period of time. We're finally getting this match, Eddie Edwards versus Jonathan Gresham. this is going to potentially steal the show. I think these two guys are far too talented to not be a top quality, top tier match. There's no title on the line. There's no number one contendership. There's no reward, no prize coming out of this other than the pride and the revenge on Gresham's side for what happened to him. Eddie Edwards is kind of in a position right now where I don't know what's next for him. I would think Eddie should win this match, but it doesn't make sense to me that Gresham would lose his first match after signing his new contract. So for that reason alone, I am leading and picking Gresham as my winner here.
You stole exactly what I was thinking. The only thing I kept thinking as well was like we haven't seen PCO since like his hand came out and everything happened with Eddie and he buried him alive. So I wonder if he will be a factor in this match. That's the only thing that I could think of. But like you said, I'm thinking of like leaning the way of like this is Gresham's first like big match and Impact. The one that he had in the show last week. It was like his showing was great, but it just like I didn't like the way it was presented because there was no entrance, no nothing for him. It's just like he's there and that's it. So I feel like this has to have like a more presentation towards it when he comes out, and it's the first pay per view for him, and then versus like you said having Eddie is like Eddie doesn't have a lot going on for him at the moment. Like anything on a more I don't know more just stopped. So I don't want him to lose because of that part of it because I want him to have something going for himself, but I don't see Gresham losing this match, especially being the first match that he has. The only thing I can think of is like maybe PCO make his presence known. That could be the only thing that could give some kind of direction towards Eddie after this. But my pick is definitely Gresham.
Here's a thought and an idea that you just gave me. What if PCO somehow respects the fact of having been defeated and buried alive by Eddie, and PCO makes his return in this match, and we think he's going to attack Eddie, but Eddie actually has control over the French Canadian Frankenstein now.
Could be.
Just a thought to put out there into the universe that we might see this as a situation where PCO returns, but it's not to take on Eddie, it's to take on Gresham.
Yeah, that could be another alternative.
Yeah. We're going to jump to the ladies' number one contender four-way match next. Astrid, the knockouts are your area of expertise, so I'm going to let you lead kind of the breakdown of this match and your thoughts on it.
I like how this started as a one-on-one match, and then people got added, and people got added, and people got added, and now we have a four-way. But I feel like everybody here has, except for Taylor, who like I've been like still like half and half about. I feel like the other ladies do have a reason to be here. Like even Masha with her losses to Jordan. Think about it, like her winning streak, comes in play here, and the way Killer Kelly has been presented since she's been on TV. We know she's been absent for a little bit due to mental health problems that she's had and she wanted to deal with, but storyline wise, she has been doing like okay at least from her start, and we have somebody like Diana that even with the losses that she's had, she has a great resume going for her and everything leading on to what happened with Mickie James as well. So I feel like they all have a factor to why they're here. Taylor Wire is the only one that I'm like, okay, you're here, I guess. They had nowhere else to put you, so they put you on this one. The only thing that I feel like before I could have picked somebody, but now it's so hard. But me being me and being a fan of LJ, I have this thought in my head that I haven't, what she told me about it, I haven't been able to take it out from my head. And just like for me, and I'm gonna include it now because even though we're gonna talk about it later, but to me, we have Mickie James winning against Jordan. And I think to me, it makes sense for her to go against Masha because of the history of like she picked her for the pick your poison, and we really haven't had anything with her. And maybe later we could have Killer Kelly. So I feel like Masha has more going for herself than Killer Kelly does at the moment. So I feel like Masha could be the one for me to win this match and go against Mickie James after Hard to Kill. What do you think?
I'm leaning away from Masha at the moment. She's had the back-to-back title matches now. And then she just had the match last week against Taylor Wilde where she took the loss on that, which was very surprising to me that she got rolled up and pinned by Taylor Wilde, because prior to the Jordan Grace feud, she hadn't lost on Impact Wrestling in any sense other than that Pick Your Poison match before she'd signed her full-time contract. So she was really presented as this monster. She was being extremely dominant. Taylor Wilde has not impressed either of us. For her to come in and yes, I know it was a roll up, and Masha got up and was super furious and attacked and like beat down security to get over it. I don't I don't think it's the place to put Masha right back into a title picture right now. I think you bring her back down and have her feud with somebody like a Taylor Wilde for a little while to get that win back over her, to maybe take on someone that's in the ladies six knockout tag match there and just break around the knockout division a little bit and shake it up. Killer Kelly has been off TV for a while. I still think Killer Kelly is somebody that I could really see being in that same position to take on Mickie James, but you could also just play it with Masha the way you're saying. It just doesn't have to be right now. My pick for this match is the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. We've been playing up to this for quite some time, whether it's Mickie James, whether it's Jordan Grace coming out as the champion on this show. I think Deonna makes the most sense as a number one contender that could face either one of them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting though. That's a lot of different aspects in that match coming around. That the knockouts division is not weak by any means. Their tag division's a little lacking right now, just from losing a fair number of people in the last couple months. But the actual knockouts title division is still one of the strongest in the world.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Moving forward from there, we've got the X Division title match, which came together officially just last week as well, where we have Trey Miguel. Sorry,
Your favorite.
don't want to forget his last name. Taking on Black Taurus in a rematch from the Overdrive X Division tournament finals. This one's played around a little bit. We've had Trey with the match with Crazy Steve that I thought was going to be his next feud. Turns around and Steve just brings back the bull. And I feel like this one's just, it doesn't have me as excited. The first time around in the tournament finals, it had me excited for which way it was going to go. This time around, it just feels like we're just doing it to do it. There's no reason that you have Trey lose the title right here to Black Taurus. It would make zero sense for him to have won the title and then lose it a month later when he's just kind of getting the rhythm of this heel character. I have to go with Trey Miguel. There's no way he loses the title here, right?
How obvious you picked your favorite. I love it. Good job. No, for me is I don't want to say it's random, but aside from the factor of the overdrive match, it seemed kind of random when they just popped in the graphics like here, Trey's going against Black Taurus. I just kept thinking, and we got the build up for this one. Okay. And just I kept thinking like I know he's kind of been like going against like random people or like random things and opponents and tagging people just as it is. And I kept wondering who is he really gonna face? But like you said, I see Trey in this momentum right now and this changing character that to me it doesn't make sense to have him lose just as right away. I feel if you do it, you have to do it maybe a pay-per-view or two after, but I feel like it's too soon. So I definitely feel like Trey is definitely gonna retain here.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to pick. I think there's no rhyme or reason to any chance of Trey Miguel losing his title there. Black Taurus is doing great things. He's really picked up his ability since kind of being put in more of a spotlight, and I love the presentation of him with Crazy Steve, but he's already lost. He literally just lost at the last pay-per-view. There's no reason for him to win at this pay-per-view. Tag team title match up next. This is the 4-way elimination title match that has come together over the last few months with all of these teams kind of intertwining and intermixing with all different combinations of singles and tag matches happening along the way. We have the champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, taking on the former champions, Heath and Rhino, taking on the major players, taking on Bullet Club Light, returning from Japan, aka Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I want to break this one down because they're doing it as an elimination match. I know I mentioned this to you when this match got announced. I want us to break it down here, Astrid. We're going to do this in order of who we think gets eliminated first, second, and then who wins. So
Ah,
give me
okay.
first off, who do you think of these 4 teams is the first team that gets eliminated from this match?
To me, I would do the major players.
I'm on the same page there. I do think the major players is, you know, as much as Myers and Cardona are doing fun things, they don't make a ton of sense to go deep in this.
Mhm.
Second, who goes second?
To me, it has to be Heath and Rhino.
The former champs.
Yeah, sorry.
Um,
Bye bye.
I would like to say that we're going to see a former champ versus Motor City Machine Guns in a rematch of the title match. But again, we're on the same page here. I think Keith and Rhino get booted out second. So
Yeah.
we're down to the finals being the Motor City Machine Guns versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Do they retain or do we have new champs?
No, I would do Ace and Bay. I feel like they have. If I think like one thing that I've noticed, especially recently, is that even when they have been absent, they have been playing a lot of clips from the tournament in New Japan, and I feel like it's a good way to get the momentum towards this. And I feel like if you think about it this way, it will be something great, like a good, like exclamation point for them as to the tournament to win over a tag team like the Motor City Machine Guns. And to and they talked about it even backstage not too long ago, where they were like, yeah, we haven't been tagging as long as you guys have, but what, we know we can do it. And I feel like everything happening in New Japan and the clips that we got of like showing off how great they have been doing in the chemistry, I feel like you have to give it to them. And to have a new tag team go against like veterans and that kind of storytelling that I would like to see going forward.
Interesting. I'm going the opposite this time. We were on the same for the first and second, but I think for the finals, I'm saying that the Motor City Machine Guns retain here. I think there might be some shenanigans. I think the major players might cause an issue with Austin Bay. Excuse me. I'm not sure how it'll play out, but I think we end up
Mhm.
in a situation where the Machine Guns keep their titles on this show, but in such a way that we get Motor City versus Bullet Club in a straight up tag match, possibly at the
Mhm.
next major show down the line.
Yeah, could be true too.
We're coming to the end of the show now. We've only got the 2 main title matches left. We're going to go to the Knockouts World title match, title versus career, the end of the last rodeo, win or lose, Mickey James versus Jordan Grace. I'm going to defer to you again, Astrid. I think you already gave your opinion earlier, but is
Yeah.
that actually where you're leaning?
Yeah, as well. I like both of them, don't get me wrong, and I'm torn about it, but my heart just tells me that Mickey's definitely gonna win this. And still, either way, even though I think about it that way, I know these two are gonna steal the show, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And I'm just excited for what happens forward. And I'm just hoping that when Mickey wins, whoever is the number one contender comes in and kind of confronts her in the end of like, you know, their rodeo continues and you're the next one, the next stop. So I would like to see that happen at the pay-per-view.
It's hard to dispute that. I appreciate that Impact's doing all they can to make this feel like it could be a career threatening end of Mickey James rodeo. Um, there's the most recent clip they put up of basically the entire rundown of her career start to finish, kind
Yeah.
of as almost feels like that farewell video gave me very
Hmm.
strong vibes of what they did with the Frankie Kazarian one leading up to the match
Hmm.
against Josh as well, that it makes you think that maybe this is it. Maybe this is the time that what they're telling me is actually going to be what happens. But if Jordan defends this title and retains her title, I don't know what's next for Jordan Grace. Like, yeah, you can
Hmm.
put Deonna Purrazzo in there. Jordan hasn't faced Deonna yet, and that's who I picked to be the number one contender. But it just, I don't want to accept that this is the end for Mickey James. I feel like
Yeah.
there's another time and another place that you can say goodbye, potentially a Slammiversary not far away down in the summer. Um, so I think I have to go with Mickey here. As much as I've loved this title reign for Jordan Grace and enjoyed seeing the quality matches that she's been putting on time and time again, I don't I don't know that I can pick against Mickie James. I've been saying it all through December leading up to this match that it feels like this is a match where Mickey's going to turn heel. And the match just before Christmas, the show that I missed when you had Ed and Parrish on here, that tag team match actually made me question going the other way around. That could we see Jordan turn heel here too? I think that's also a possibility, is a Jordan heel turn either after the match when she's frustrated at losing, maybe something in the match where she tries to cut corners to end Mickey's career. It's somebody is turning heel in this match. I think I want to stick by what I've been saying all along of it being Mickey, that whatever it takes attitude to make sure she's not retired, because she realized that she's not ready to be retired yet. But that's where I'm going with that. Main event time. I know you love this idea and you're looking so forward to this, Astrid. We have the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, against the scumbag Bully Ray in what has been announced as a Full Metal Mayhem match. And if you're unfamiliar with Impact Wrestling, Full Metal Mayhem is Impact's version of a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Bully Ray's specialty, or at least a specialty of many people, including Bully Ray. Does this give Bully Ray the advantage in this match, Astrid? Does Bully Ray pull it out now that it has been named Full Metal Mayhem and he has the good hands in his back pocket?
I'm so torn. And if anybody was watching the show with Parrish and Ed, the way that Ed just gave me the storyline and just, oh my God, I haven't been able to take it out of my head. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And I'm like, no, I don't want this to happen. And it just like he gave us the idea of, based on what happened with Scott D'Amore and Bully Ray, that perhaps Bully Ray becomes champion and becomes Scott D'Amore, like Nightmare as a champion. And we have somebody like, maybe that's why he gives Steve Macklin the opportunity to be number one contender, because he wants him to beat Bully Ray, so Bully's not champion any longer. And I was like, it sounds so interesting. Yes, it does, but I don't want Bully to be champion. And it's like, I love what had the been doing with Josh. He just became the longest reigning Impact World Champion, and I don't want it to stop there. I really don't. And I feel like it will make a sense for me as somebody that loves Josh Alexander for him to get that revenge on Bully Ray and just end it right here and there for himself, for the company, and for his wife, and getting that revenge, and for Scott D'Amore after what happened as well. So just like, as much as I like the idea that Ed planted in my head, I'm gonna go with my world champion and still pick Josh Alexander. Sorry, Ed.
It's a very interesting way to look at it, that Macklin is playing his story really well now of the what's it going to take? What do I have to do to get my chance? And to play the idea that it's Macklin doesn't have to do anything. He just has to be the right man in the right place when Bully Ray does what Bully Ray is going to do. And the addition of the good hands, when Bully came back, Bully won the call your shot. I made the call that this is a situation where you bring a veteran into kind of a younger locker room, let him teach some guys how to be stronger on the mic, let him coach some guys on like in the ring, backstage segments, how to like carry yourself like a professional, how to be a top roster kind of talent. And while he is that, I thought that was a short-term thing where it would end when he called his shot and that was it. The addition of the good hands with Bully Ray, making this match Full Metal Mayhem, which is no disqualification, with all of the weapons of destruction in the match, and Bully having a two-man advantage, just waiting to call them down to be his good hands, and two young guys that Bully will be a very, very strong asset to for the next little while, as long as they're aligned, for Hotch and Skylar to become a strong tag team like the Team 3D was, but also just to become strong talents in their own rights and grow and advance in Impact and become Impact Originals, Impact Regulars moving forward. I don't think we've seen the end of Bully Ray yet. I don't know that I want Bully to be champion. I like the idea that Ed threw out there of Macklin being the one that's eventually called in to put Bully Ray down, but I think I think we're headed to Bully here. I think we're celebrating Josh's championship reign. We've made him the longest reigning champion. There's not much else really for Josh to do unless they do go to Macklin next. But I think you can go to Bully here, and there's now some strong faces to fight with Bully until you're ready to put Macklin to take him out.
I'm gonna cry. No, not happening now.
We've led all the way up to this with me saying that I thought Macklin was the man to dethrone Josh. And now through the last 6 weeks of build coming up to this match since Overdrive, they've managed to change my mind. So well done, Impact Wrestling. You made me believe what you're doing is going to happen.
It's gonna break my heart. I don't know if I can take it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
It's going to be a really interesting show. I think it's going to be a really strong show. It's one of the big four for the year for Impact. Available on Fight TV, I believe. And is it available on DAZN?
Oh, no, that's your answer, not mine.
I'm not watching DAZN right now.
No, we're watching it on Fight when we watch it, but I don't know if it's in the zone. Hopefully it is.
But we'll be back on Friday night immediately following Hard to Kill for all of the Fallout reactions, our impact makers for the night, our results breakdown, all of that fun stuff. And then back again next week for our regularly scheduled Thursday Making an Impact. Astrid, did you have anything else to add before we call it a show for tonight?
I feel like this pay-per-view is going to be a roller coaster for me, especially that main event. I don't know if I can make it to the post show. We'll see about that at this point. Because if we have Bully Ray with it's going to break my heart entirely. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to I like how I'm looking forward to basically a lot of the card, and I'm interested what happens. I feel like it definitely gives you a sense of direction after we know who wins each match. So that's what I'm interested in looking forward to the most when it comes to the storytelling and with an impact. But yeah, I feel like aside from the main event, everything else should be fine.
I mean, that Mickey and Jordan match might break your heart too, but
maybe a little. We'll see.
That's it for tonight's show. For myself, you can catch me on Twitter right here at Cody Defoe. If you want, I'm going to be posting this link up with a question about your results. If you didn't find the video from that link, or after you've watched our results, if you want to pop on, drop a comment of your predictions for the matches from Impact, would appreciate the interaction with my post there. I'll be here Friday. I'll be back on Thursday. Astrid, where can they find you?
I'd be on my Twitter at Astrid Pizarro and my Instagram Astrid Pizarro 20. Definitely looking forward to watching this with you and hopefully a bunch of our friends. As if we probably cry when the night ends after this. But yeah, looking forward to what happens next. I'm going to the shows the week after. So for the 20th and 21st, they have a Kissimmee show. So I'm going to both of those. So I'm really excited to see. Aside from the world champion, maybe, but most of the fallout I'll probably be able to witness it. So it'll be exciting for me as well.
Awesome. That's it. Thank you very much for joining us on this special episode of Making an Impact, friends. Remember to join the comments, drop a like and a comment and a subscribe if you don't already. Follow Astrid on YouTube and Twitch to catch all of our weekly episodes. And join us right back here Friday night, immediately following Hard to Kill.
Yeah. See you after Hard to Kill, if we survive.